This woman could actually hear her mute mother-in-law's thoughts, but she chose to pretend she heard nothing at all. Even as her mother-in-law screamed desperately in her mind, she played completely indifferent. In her past life, she had heard her mother-in-law's thoughts and made her delicious meat buns, but her mother-in-law accused her of putting peanut butter in them. Everyone believed she was trying to kill her mother-in-law. Even her husband called her vicious and cruel. She thought it was just an accident, until the day of her mother-in-law's surgery. Her mother-in-law's thoughts revealed unbearable itching all over. Hoping she'd go home to get a fresh change of clothes, she handed the luggage to the nurse without suspicion. But when the nurse opened the bag, inside was a funeral shroud. Everyone condemned the woman for being unfilial. In the end, her husband shoved her against the wall. The woman died never understanding why, yet fate granted her a second chance at life. When she opened her eyes again, she was back on the day her mother-in-law asked for buns. This time she refused to make the same mistake, so she pretended she needed to help her brother-in-law apply for civil service. Seeing the woman play dumb made her mother-in-law panic. She had no choice but to write her request on paper. Reluctantly, the woman agreed to her mother-in-law's demand. Back home, she had her brother-in-law make the buns. To document her brother-in-law's filial devotion, she even pulled out her phone to record it as evidence. Then her brother-in-law personally went to the hospital to feed them to his mother. However, after eating the buns, her mother-in-law had a severe allergic reaction. The nurse immediately accused her of adding peanut butter, but the woman questioned why her brother-in-law would frame his own mother. She accused him of trying to inherit his mother's estate. Her mother-in-law frantically gestured to clear things up, but no one there understood sign language. Seeing the situation spiral out of control, she claimed her mother-in-law couldn't possibly eat peanut butter to frame her own son. Hearing the woman's words, her brother-in-law immediately demanded why his mother would frame him. His civil service exam was next week. He feared years of hard work going down the drain. Just then, the woman's husband arrived at the hospital room, but he only believed the nurse's lies, convinced his wife had framed his brother. But the woman pulled out video evidence to prove her innocence. Everyone now believed her brother-in-law was guilty. They prepared to take him to the police station to turn himself in. Seeing her younger son about to go to jail, her mother-in-law wrote on paper, "My son didn't hurt me." The woman tore the paper to shreds. Her mother-in-law fainted in rage on the hospital bed. On the day of surgery, the woman heard her mother-in-law's thoughts again, but this time she lied, saying her mother-in-law was just too nervous. But what her mother-in-law meant was she wouldn't have surgery without changing clothes. The doctor said the patient's emotions would affect the surgery outcome. They should try to accommodate her requests. So she had her mother-in-law write down what she needed. She reluctantly went home to get the package, remembering the funeral shroud in the package had cost her her life. This time she carefully inspected the package to make absolutely sure. She had just arrived at the hospital with the luggage. The nurse insisted on keeping the luggage for her. She refused the nurse's request, but the nurse snatched the luggage, saying it would delay the surgery. The woman had no choice but to hand over the luggage. Before the nurse even opened the package, she declared the woman had brought a funeral shroud for her mother-in-law. The woman's husband immediately flew into a rage and slapped her. Watching their aggressive stance, the woman finally understood they had plotted this all along. This time she wouldn't fall for it again. The woman pointed out that false accusations carry legal consequences, but the